On 5 megs again this morning, as you say. Very interestingly, it's really been good conditions up there in the last couple of weeks, and certainly in the morning. And Roger, regarding VZV, yes, I've known Graham for some time, not as long as you, clearly, but very happy to pass contact details on if you drop me an email. And I think you mentioned that the CCF, I was very active in the CCF. This is one of the reasons why I quite like 5 megs, of course. And I wonder what if that's what, I'm not sure whether it was you that was on the CCF or whether you were on the top band in the QSOs. I didn't quite follow that, but either way, if you were in the CCF, I wonder what call sign you had at that time, and possibly might even have worked back in the late 60s and early 70s. Anyway, back to work and a cup of coffee, and I wish both of you a very good morning. GW3UEP, G3YJO with G4GT on the side, G3YJO, now just listening. Cheers.
GW3UEP, yeah, okay, Martin, thanks for the report. No, I wasn't officially in the CCF, but I did discover, well, this is before I got my license, as soon as I had an R107. I did hear Whiskey Lima signals over and all that, and I did call in with my homebrew top band rig screwed onto the frequency with the R107, but of course so it was all good fun anyway. So, well, oh yes, what happened, I was mobile in Morven, and Colin came on using the CCF gear, you see, and we arranged to meet, and that's how I ended up seeing the Radio Shack at the school. And I think I did some operating from there on top band. But so he was pirating, and that's how it happened, as we all did. And then he got his license, and Graham followed. So that's the history, Martin. But I'm just curious to know what happened to Colin. Of course, going through the call books, everyone moved, different addresses and so on. And I do hear occasionally have a short listen to the satellite net, the top end of 80 metres. Hear you. I think it's a Sunday morning, isn't it? And occasionally Graham, but I didn't hear him last Sunday. Right. So that's the CCF, and well, I can tell you without turning the PC on this morning that 5 megs is buzzing, because I was going to give you a sample, but the QSO's finished. Oh, here's another one. Oh, it sounds like Robin, TKF. Anyway, yes, it is buzzing, 5 megs, and has been for some time. Catch you on 5317 later, Martin. Anyway, jolly good, nice to hear the big signals, and I just think that's all the notes. I think I'd like to do a quick test with Dave when we finish. From GW3UP, over to you, Dave.
Yeah, okay, Roger. I'll wait with interest to see what that test consists of, but I'll let you go back to working hard over the coffee machine, Martin. But I do agree that, yeah, you can get more done at home, less interruptions and so on. And even if you're only working half a day, it's probably twice as productive as when you're in the office. I think people can easily just fritter the day away in the office without any pang of conscience, because they're actually in work, but it somehow is different when you do it at home. But yeah, generally I've always been more productive at home. You can just get on with stuff, can't you? Apart from the call of the radio, which is always a challenge. Great to speak to you, Martin. Cheers for the moment, and I'll just wait to see what Roger has in store for me. GW4GTE.
Yeah, cheers both. G3YJO listening.
Yeah, bye then, Martin. Perhaps see you later.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're standing between me and a cup of tea and a round of toast, Roger, so I hope it's good.
Oh, yeah, just a quick one, really. This won't take a second. So if you've got accustomed to this present audio setup, here we are. I just wonder what you make of this. This is something else, and I wonder if you think this is more effective under weak signal conditions, and what you think about the frequency response. If you notice any difference, I'll just switch back, and this is where we started from GW3UEP.
GW4GTE. It sounded maybe slightly brighter, but there's clearly more torque power. There's more compression involved in the test version, and I guess if it was weak, that one would be better. But there wasn't that much in it. You know, it would be a very close call. Which was better in that, you know, you'd have to be pretty damn weak for one to make the difference. But the second one seemed to retain most of the tone quality, a bit more breathy because, of course, you're compressing the dynamic range. As I say, a little bit more sibilant, but that might just be because you know, when picking up, just compressing those frequencies. I don't know. So the answer is not a huge amount. But if the question was which would be more effective, probably the new one. But if you wanted to just make something for those weak moments, you'd probably drop some LF as well. I'm not one to tell anyone to drop LF the amount I run, but you know, if that's the angle you're taking on that. But yeah, the second one marginally better and still maintained all the sort of sound of the original one. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay, Dave. I'll just go down to 5 watts. Hang on. What have I done? Turned the wrong button. Okay, we'll do this. Right, I'll just go down to 5 watts. Down. There we are. Okay, this is 5 watts. And I noticed that the lower mic gain setting has been preserved on AM. So this is it. Okay, this is the original setting. Okay, I'll just switch to position 2. This is position 2. So running 5 watts instead of 25, and this is the test position.
I'm the 7300. So I said to him, well, I showed him 4 meters, and that repeated down 3. So I spoke into the microphone and then waited, and of course it spoke back to me what I'd said. So I said to him, "God, then one of you two ever talk?" They wouldn't talk in the mic, mate.
That often is the case, isn't it? Mike Shy there. When we used to do Jota or whatever it was, that it was quite hard to control a lot of the kids or the girl guides into to chatting or just passing on messages in those days there and things, but then you'd get one who you'd have to drag off the rig there, Alan, go ahead.
Yeah, well, there you go, you see. It's like the televisions and the remote control now, ain't it? I mean, at one time everybody was sceptical. Now the kids just pick it up and it's just normal, ain't it? Mobile phones, the lot, mate, have they?
Oh, Absolutely there. I mean, I think they're born with them glued to their hands or stuck to their ears, you know. But there you go. It does, stuck to their ears, you know. That's sort of 10 or half a dozen stages of manner, the anthropoid ape, walking, going, standing up and so on, and then the last stage we drew him, and he'd got a poser phone stuck to his ear there, Alan, and put that in an article that was going there.
Adding to the frequency shift. When you're transmitting into your hearing aid. I remember when I was at school, we spent a month. Which was one of those things with.
I find, in fact I'm doing it at the moment, that I can run more audio drive with AM than with sideband without it sounding too pushed, because of course the carrier is stabilising the listener's AGC, and you seem to be able to get away with a more mod, if you like, more density. So yeah, more, at least as good as, if not better than, whatever the original test was. Turning it up to 50 subjectively again, and probably actually made it louder. Obviously, by improving the average, the peaks are not going to change, are they? Just compressing the dynamic range. So yeah. I hope that helps, Roger. Over.
Oh, great, excellent. Yes, jolly good. Yeah, I have done this test before with the 50% mic gain setting and the test position, and I think it was marginal, but one or two preferred it as it is now with the full gain. Incidentally, one interesting thing I discovered. This is 5 megs. Not very good audio, but it is buzzing without looking at the web. Where was I? I've lost track now. Well, anyway, going off at a tangent, I do find and come back to me in a sec, the analog waterfall is so reminiscent of the Doctor Who, what did they call it? The something sonic, audio sonic workshop or something. You know, those waves parting, and the SSB, the AM spectrum. I mean, probably that's what it was. Or just using some mixer arrangement, some carrier arrangement. But the parting waves of of AM on the waterfall are near identical to that Doctor Who special effect. No doubt you've noticed that, Dave, and in the meantime I'll remember where I was.
GW4GTE. Well, I want to go and get a cup of tea and some toast shortly. Yeah, I'm sure it wasn't FFT technology in those days, but I think it was a visual feedback. A visual feedback thing through the desk. I think they used to be fond of doing that. They used to do a lot of that on top of the pops. Make pans people go all fuzzy and all that. BBC Radiophonic Workshop, and I forget who it was. I think it was a woman who did the music for that, if I'm not mistaken. Was there something about them not being credited for it? I might be wrong, but there's a history is littered with females doing jobs that males get the credit for. Anyway, but I know exactly what you mean. and it's a very good implementation on that rig. I mean, if you dig into it just another layer, of course you can change the threshold, apart from the bandwidth across, you can change the threshold level and references and all the rest, so it's very good. That rig just is an amazing piece of work. I realised just how good it was when I was listening to one of the TeamSpeak things from the SDR people who write the software for the UnUn stuff. I think it was Dr. Warren Pratt, NR0V, I think that's his call sign. He was the man who wrote the pure signal stuff, saying that the transmit delay, transmit changeover latency, transmit to receive on the 7300 is so fast, he doesn't know how they've done it. So for the godfather of SDR to say he doesn't know how they've done it, that's amazing. Anyway, I don't know how you've done it, stopping me going to the kitchen, but you have. So maybe you're amazing as well. GW3UEP, GW4GTE.
Well, I suppose we all have our talents. Yeah. Oh, the radiophonic workshop. Yeah. Yes. And I expect there was a mixer involved and a carrier and things like that, or just some modification of the Seju figures, or as you said, video feedback. Yeah, okay. Well, it is, Dave, and I mean that's one of the things that struck me, that it just feels, handles, behaves as an analog rig, and I would have noticed immediately any delay. Well, there is some delay. There is with any transmitter, propagation delay through the circuits, but I'd have noticed all these things immediately, and the fact that it boots up so quickly, shuts down so quickly, and I've not had a single glitch. You probably heard me going on about this. Well, and I'm glad I'm interested to hear you say that from that reference, that source. Because it's easy to take it all for granted as in an analog fashion, but that's what it's mimicking. It's incredible. Yes, I've got to go and collect a drink. So you go and do that, and in the meantime I'll get back on the original attack, which won't take a second. Anyway, so that's useful to know that the 50% mic gain is the optimum. Oh, I know what it was. If you feed a fixed level tone into the 570, say on SSB, with the power set to say 50 watts, and you feed in the tone to set say 5 watts, it doesn't stay there. It gradually creeps up to 25 watts. So there's a slow acting, averaging or equalizing loop in there. And I think this is why the AM sounds so good, and there's no need for the full compression. It just sounds adequately compressed, doesn't it? So I think a lot of things going on, behind the front panel. GW3UEP, going for the T then.
Yeah, GW4GTE. Yeah, no, it is an incredible thing, and the key thing you said was, if you gave it to someone and didn't tell them it was an SDR rig, waterfall aside, which might confuse them, you wouldn't know, would you? You wouldn't know, and it does boot up fast. I've got a couple of SIG-length bits of test gear here, an arbitrary waveform generator, and a 5.5-digit multimeter, and either of them take far, far longer to boot up. Probably by almost an order of magnitude. They probably take a good 10 seconds, if not longer, to boot up than the 7300 does. Crazy. You don't think of a multimeter taking time to boot up, do you? You just expect to switch it on and use it. But of course it's a computer with an operating system in there and so on. And a lot of these things have to calibrate themselves. Right, that's the beauty parade for ICOM over. And time for the kettle. See you later, I'm sure, Roger. I'll have a bit of a play on 5 megs. Probably, I might start off with the 7300. Why not? What better choice? And then see if I can find my homebrew thing up. Cheers for the moment. GW4GTE.
Yeah, okay, Dave. I've got a road sweeper going past. I can work duplex from 80 to 5 megs and top band to 5 megs. Just a thought. In fact, as I'm doing now.
The 12-volt motor.
Anyway, yes, we'll call it a day now then, and I must get on. And it's all very interesting, but that's very useful to have restore the mic gain setting on AM. I'll have to see if it'll remember that. I still don't know what those 3 arrows are, so curious. And I've set up the band edges now, and also done the voice recorder, as you know, and explored a few more other areas. See you later then, and it seems that 5317 is the place to be. GW4GTE, GW3UEP, thanks for the test.
Yeah, no problem, Roger. Nice to have a chat on AM, and the bands are all looking good. And Chiltern is still rocketing up 6.275 now, FOF2. So yeah, it's going to be short. Well, it probably is short skip, but it's going to be any skip on 40 probably before noon. It's only 10:30, so it's probably going to make 7 megs. See you later, GW4GTE.
Yeah, oh, yes, that's another band I can work duplex on. Not that it would ever be used. Okay, bye then.
Yeah, well, you can't beat me working full duplex on the same band though, Roger.
No, I'm working on that.
Cheers.
Oh, I can on 5 megs.
Oh, okay.
With 50 dB antenna isolation.